Hi everyone, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Story Mode. We found a giant treasure, but more importantly had ourselves a good little adventure. And now, I assume, guys, we're going to deliver this very good treasure we found to Lise, because I feel like she's going to be thrilled. First Estinian and now Arnvald. It would seem there is much amusement to be had at my expense. Honestly, I might as well go adventuring with Alice. Well, then you would just get double the mockery and criticism along the way. At least you're getting a half dose with any of us. Arnvald is still grinning at Alphino's discomfort. All jesting aside, we must tell the people the good news. And I think Lise should be the first. Seconded. There's to be a meeting of representatives from across Alamigo, so she's sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out? Let's go find her. Which shouldn't be too hard. The Alamigan Quarter is pretty small. I'm actually a little bummed about that. I would really love for them to someday make Alamigo another big, proper, large city hub, like all the other Eorzean city-states have. Because it is a big space, but it's just like a big space that is kind of tucked into the corner of the last main zone in Stormblood. And there's just not a whole lot here, other than a place to warp to and some quest giver, like maybe a merchant and some quest givers. There's not like much reason to come here if you're not here for the main quest, which is a shame. I would love for this big city to get fully re-inhabited and established as a main hub in this world again at some point down the line. That's my wish. Anyway. Hey, Lise. Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, Lise, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna like the answer. You're joking. The Mad King's Trove? I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have Dermot and Alphino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it all, I vote that it goes towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. Gods, if there's as much as you say. Arnvald did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it out on our own. I've taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, and there is one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alphino. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve everything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alphino. Of course. I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem. Deep breaths. Tell me what's happened. A mob's gathered outside headquarters, and they've started making demands. You best come and see for yourself. Oh boy. And the problems are back. Figured it wouldn't be that long.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on? Someone let slip about Fordola.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Butcher the... Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down! Calm
monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye, and my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Oh, I'm glad you're here.
Hey, who's this?
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance, but we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
I know you're right, I do. But I can't.
Boy, I'm glad you showed up when you did. Good speech, by the way. After 20 years of Imperial rule, it's no surprise that people should seek a target for all their pent-up rage and grief. I only wish I knew the solution. Yeah, things are always tricky. Thank the gods General Alden arrived when he did. Any later and we would have had a riot on our hands. As ever, and you should probably expect it by now. I imagine you do, but yeah, 14 does not just let things lie with simple solutions a lot of the time. There's always long-term ramifications and, like, loose ends that need to be untangled, and they are very tangled, and I love that the challenge of Alamigo doesn't just end as soon as you take the city, like it would in so many other fantasy-type stories. They're real good at that. Fordola and her skulls may have aspired to be Imperial citizens, but they were born Alamican. To their countrymen, they're traitors of the worst kind. The butcher has much to answer for, but to simply drag her from her cell and slaughter her in the street, General Alden is right. Of course he is. My thanks, Raban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. 'Tis a difficult tide to stem. 'Twas that same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. But now the war is over, all the unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, and it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. It starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls even thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. But maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun. Who are these representatives, exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we've planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Ananta and the Kikern to participate. Alamigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated? And everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodric and Xenos. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of it, anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, unforgivable things. But in some ways, she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand. All right. Speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. I'm sure you're up to it. If you'll have me, I have a mind to attend this interview as well. I've no great wish to save Fordola, even if I could, but there's more to her than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Speak with the guard and we'll all go in together. Sounds good. I think it's best if I stay outside and keep watch for troublemakers. After what that woman did to Meffred and Commander Kemp, I'd struggle not to throttle her. Understandable. All right, could you let us all in, please? You've the commander's permission to enter, then? Yes, please.
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you? Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men! And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind?
Now, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fordola. I see you for what you are.
Whoop.
Come along, Fordola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right. Father, what's Logsdon like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
Fordola!
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something. My husband and daughter are in danger.
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arm.
We're citizens. We have rights.
I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive.
Traitors! Traitors!
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Fordola, please. You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier?
to your face!
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honouring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
I'm back. What'd I miss? Alphino, did I miss anything?
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes, wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past? And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay!
I think it's the first time someone's dove into our history.
You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
You know why you saw, for those I have lost and for those I can yet save, because I choose to. These are all very good answers, Derman. Good job. You know, I don't want to lean on this one too often and every single time it comes up as an option, because sometimes I think other options are a little better. And these are all pretty good. But this seems like a good perspective to bring to it. And hey, they are pretty good words.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
Good seed, man. I love what this MMO slowly turns into. Like, it turned into this a while ago, but it's now just continuing to deliver on that front, and I just really love it. There's not a lot of Final Fantasies you get really chunky character drama scenes like that. The capacity to experience such visions of the past had always seemed to me to be a most desirable talent, but I see now that it is as much a burden as a blessing. Sorry about that. I let my emotions get the better of me. It's just that she and I are of an age, and we're neither of us one thing or another. I can't help but feel like she's my problem to solve. Lise is lost in thought. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about, at least. Aye, and I've found something new to think about, too. I don't know about you, Derman, but the visions have only come to me every now and then. From the way Fordola kept wincing, though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the Echo and one who's been artificially imbued with it? Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring that research facility ever since the Liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? Hey, I'm in. Let's go see what they're up to. Boy, it's nice being able to fly here. And everywhere. It's nice being able to fly. General Alden's inside. Aye. Will you be joining him? If you'll let me. Ah, back here. Huh. Kind of feel like poking around. Any thoughts? Seeing this facility, I'm reminded of what they did to Kryl. Glad she seems to be doing okay, at least. We received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Well, good for you. Keep at it, I guess. Ugh. They should burn this place to the ground and be done with it. So many bodies. Oh, goodness, I hadn't even seen all those over there. Yowza. Come on, let's talk to Raban. Yes, let's. Hey, General. What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it. Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Arnvald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the Scion's expert assistance if you have time to lend a hand. I can see what we can do. We aren't exactly the most scholarly of the Scion's number, I'll be honest. You kind of rolled a 1 on which Scions happened to be present when you asked for help on that front, but we'll do our best. What would Y'shtola do? The device in which Kryl was held seems even more ominous now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the ether of the occupant, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior has been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. Well, I guess Robon's got Alphino here. He'll be good at the research. But then Lise and I outnumber Alphino, so that's quite a disadvantage. I bet we can counterbalance any of his effectiveness, if we put our minds to it. So many bodies, every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show any signs of external injury. From what we've been able to determine, they perished from forcible ether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. The pieces are falling into place, General. I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated. Derman, shall we start with you? Taken in combination with the testimonies of Kryl and Thencred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with ether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case, Kryl, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryl's echo. I believe so. That would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryl's possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at her door night and day. If she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past... But you don't just see their past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what that'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed. As you may recall, Isael was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Hresvelger's past. Fordola's been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can of these godforsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If we're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. That does add some nuance to things. I've never known why I was given the echo, but this makes me want to put it to good use. The forcible extraction of ether from a living subject is invariably fatal. How many died that Fordola might gain her new abilities? I'd rather not think about it, bud. I go looking for answers about the echo and end up getting schooled by Raban. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden's a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority, and how much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything here's settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? 'Tis a quandary which countless refugees now face. To continue the life they built in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Dermin, a moment. I am newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Okay. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. Good to see you, Pippin. An audience with the Sultana? Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Alphino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Dermin. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. What a good bunch of friends we have. Well, you know, today was a pretty meaty episode. Let's go ahead and call it there, and I'll see y'all next time for some more story mode. Take care until then, and goodbye!